Hello students, I am sure you have gone through the first session related to the fundamentals in coordinate geometry, which are definitely helpful for class 10 and class 11 students. Now today we are going to discuss various other chapters, various other topics which are related to 11th and 12th standard. Alright, so these formula session will be very helpful to you, and in this formula session we are going to cover many aspects like different forms of line and the concept of slope, when two lines are parallel what the condition is, when two lines are perpendicular what the condition is. So all those things we will try to cover in this particular session. But prior to that, we will today start with a small topic which was actually continuation of the session 1, like area of the triangle. In the last session we discussed that when 3 points are collinear, the area of the triangle formed is 0. Now how do you find the area of the triangle? For that we have a formula in coordinate geometry, and I want you to note that formula as well. So here it is, the area of triangle formed, by vertices A is equal to x1 y1, B is equal to x2 y2, C is equal to x3 y3 is delta ABC is equal to half modulus x y minus y plus x y minus y plus x y minus y. Don't be surprised. I am going to write this as 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, and this is your formula. So how do you write this as formula? Half modulus x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2. That you cannot remember, so please remember the pattern: 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2. So many square units. This is the way you will find the area of the triangle ABC when vertices are given. So when base is given to you, then definitely you will calculate the altitude, right? So altitude, or you can also call that as height. So area of the triangle is half base into height. So when base and height is given to you, you calculate that way. Or you have Heron's formula, area of the triangle is equal to under root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c, where this is a, b, C, and opposite to A is small a, opposite to B is small b, opposite to C is small c, where ABC are the sides of the triangle, and then S is nothing but semi-perimeter, which is given by the formula S is equal to A plus B plus C by 2. So in this way, through Heron's formula, you can calculate the area of the triangle when sides are given to you, or if vertices are given, you can find sides and apply Heron's formula. If base is given to you, height is given to you, you can apply this formula. Or if vertices are only given to you, you can apply this formula and try to get the area of the triangle. So I want you to give a pause for this, and after this we are going for the different forms of lines. So please be ready with pen and paper and try to copy all that in your notes. So pause the video and copy. Forms of line. Means line is same, but we try to represent in different forms, right? God is one, but you have different forms of God, just like that. So forms of line. First we'll come across is one point form. What is one point form? One point form means when one point and slope is given to you, how do you write the equation of the line? So I'll say equation of line passing through P x1 y1 with slope m is y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So this form of line is called one point form, where one point is given and one slope is given. And what is slope? We have discussed in the previous video in session 1. Now next is 2 point form of line. 2 point form of line. Now what is 2 point form? I will write equation of line passing through P x1 y1, or I can say A x1 y1 and B x2 y2, x2 comma y2 is y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. This is called 2-point form of line. Y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. All right. So it is just more or less same, but here instead of m, you are writing the slope. We all know difference of y coordinates by difference of x coordinate is called slope. So this is 1-point form, 2-point form. Next we will handle is slope intercept form. Slope intercept form of line, right? Now y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c is slope intercept form of line, right? Where m is the slope, and c is y intercept, and c is y intercept. So this is called what? Slope intercept form of line. Y is equal to mx plus c. Now you can also get one more form, y is equal to m into x minus c. This is also slope intercept form, my dear children, right? Is slope intercept form, is also slope intercept form of line, where m is slope, and a is x intercept. So when x intercept is given to you and slope is given to you, you write the equation of line in this manner. If y intercept is given to you and slope is given to you, you write the equation of line in this manner. So both of them are called as slope intercept form, where one slope and one intercept is given. You might be having a doubt, what do you mean by intercept? Very simple. Let me take an example. Suppose I have x-axis, I have y-axis, and a line is cutting x and y-axis like this. Now where it is cutting x-axis? At this point. You will mark that point. Where is the origin? You mark that point. This distance between the origin and the point where the line cuts x-axis. I repeat, the distance between the origin and the point where the line cuts x-axis, that distance is called x-intercept. So this is called x-intercept. Vice versa, the distance between the point, that is origin, the distance between the origin and the point where the line cuts the y-axis, it is called y-intercept. So did you understand? This is x-intercept and y-intercept. So when one intercept and one slope is given to you, you can find the equation of line this way. And if two intercepts are given to you, it is called as intercept form of line. What is it called as? Intercept form of line. It is called intercept form of line. What is intercept form of line? X by a plus y by b is equal to 1 is called intercept form of line, where a is x-intercept, and b is y-intercept. And this is the figure. X-intercept is here a and y-intercept is here b, and the equation of line will be x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. Now for this is the intercept form of line. Now there can be some variations also in this, like the straight line is cutting like this. X-intercept is a, y-intercept is b. But because it is on the negative side, the equation of the line will be x by minus a plus y by plus b is equal to 1. If the line is cutting like this, same, negative x. So equation of line will be x by minus a plus y by minus b is equal to 1. If the line is cutting intercepts like this, so this is a and this is b, so it is x by plus a, but y by minus b is equal to 1. And if it is cutting like this, positive x, positive y, and it will be x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. So that is called intercept form of line. This minus a or minus will only indicate the length being made on the negative x-axis or negative y-axis. But as such, the length can't be negative. It's only made on negative x-axis. That's why you write as minus a or minus b. So I am sure you followed this. There are few more forms of line which are very interesting and very important. I want you to pause the video, have a close look and by heart, and then try to write in your notes. Okay. Yes, children, symmetric form of line. Symmetric form of line. Now what is the symmetric form of line? X minus x1 by cos theta is equal to y minus y1 by sin theta is called symmetric form of line, right? Now is called symmetric form of line, where line passes through x1 comma y1 and has an inclination of theta with x-axis, and that is also in positive direction. All right, so let me draw the figure for you. See, this is x-axis and there is a line passing through point x1 y1 making an angle theta with positive x-axis. Then the equation of this line is x minus x1 by cos theta is equal to y minus y1 by sin theta. Now, apart from this, there is something else also called as parametric point. So this is just a symmetric form of line. Now, let me give an extension for you. Parametric point on the line inclined with angle theta with x-axis, with positive x-axis, and and r units away from x1 y1 is x is equal to x1 plus or minus r cos theta, y is equal to y1 plus or minus r sin theta. Some people, instead of writing plus or minus, they write the parametric point x comma y as x plus under modulus r cos theta comma y plus under modulus r sin theta. Modulus means it will take two values. Now what do you mean by that? Means if I want to find a point r units away from this point. Now r units away, it can be point A, or r units away, it can be point B. Both sides the distance is r. Then how will you find this point A? For instance, this point A will be x1 plus r cos theta comma y1 plus r sin theta, and x1 minus r cos theta comma y1 minus r sin theta. If x1 minus r cos theta is A point, then x1 plus r cos theta will be B point, vice versa. Together it will be plus or minus, and we do not know which is plus and which is minus. One I am writing plus and one I am writing minus. One is above and one is below. What is important is the distance is r units, and second thing is it is lying on the line which is inclined at an angle theta with positive x-axis. So this is called as parametric point, or any point on the line where the slope of the line or the angle of the inclination of the line with x-axis is given to you, and any point on the line is given to you. So it's a very, very important question, children, and mostly in Board of Intermediate or 11th standard you get questions based on this, on parametric form of line. In fact, this parametric form is nothing but derived from this only. Let me explain to you. If I write x minus x1 by cos theta is equal to y minus y1 by sin theta, both of them if I say equated to r, then what will happen? X, say modulus r, x minus x1 is equal to mod r cos theta, y minus y1 is equal to what? Mod r sin theta. So what is x is equal to x1 plus mod r cos theta, y is equal to y1 plus mod r sin theta. Is it not? So you got this parametric form of line or parametric point from the symmetric form of line only. So it is very important. So I want you to pause the video, draw that graph and try to understand the who's who of this particular problem. So meanwhile we'll go for the next form of line, that is normal form. I want you to understand this. Normal form of line. Normal form is also called as perpendicular form. Right? I'll write x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to P. X cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to P is called normal form of line, where P is the perpendicular distance. P is the perpendicular distance from origin from origin to the line, and alpha is the, this point is very important. Many students, faculty, they get confused, and what alpha is, you must know. Alpha is the inclination. Alpha is the inclination made by the perpendicular drawn from origin, made by the perpendicular drawn from origin to the line with positive x-axis. With positive x-axis. I repeat, alpha is the inclination made by the perpendicular drawn from origin to the line with positive x-axis. What does that mean? Let me help you out. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is a line. And if I want to write the equation of this line, given this is a perpendicular distance drawn from 0, 0 to the line. So perpendicular distance. Shortest distance is called as perpendicular distance. For example, there is a wall and I am standing here. How can I reach the wall in the shortest way? I have to go straight. If I go like this, I will have to cover more length. So perpendicular is nothing but the shortest distance. Alright. So this is the shortest distance from the origin. So I can also say where P is the shortest distance from origin to the line. So it is also called as perpendicular. So this is a perpendicular and this length is what? P. And what did I say alpha is? Alpha is the inclination made by the perpendicular with positive x-axis. So this is alpha, right? Many people will think that this is alpha. This is not alpha. Here the alpha represents this. And if this is alpha and this is P, the equation of line will be x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to P, and P is what? P is the length of perpendicular. Length of perpendicular should be always positive. That you keep in mind. So whenever you convert the normal into normal form, always see to it that this part of the problem is positive, because you are going to deal with length. Alright, length is always positive. So that is called as normal form of line. So I want you to pause the video and copy, and then I will try to discuss what general form of line. Once the general form of line is there, how to convert a general form of line into slope intercept form, how to convert a general form of line into intercept form, how to convert a general form of line into normal form, I will tell you, because you may get a 1 mark or 2 marks question based on the conversion of the line from one form to another. So pause the video, draw this figure, and we will continue next. General form of line ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 is called general form of line. Now how to convert general form of line into intercept form, right? To convert into, I'll say general form, to convert general form into intercept form, right? To convert general form of line into intercept form of line, I will say ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Ax plus by is equal to minus c. Divide the entire equation by minus c plus by minus c minus c by minus c. X by minus c by a plus y by minus c by b. And what is minus c by minus c? 1. So you have converted into x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. This is called as intercept form of line, where this is your x intercept and this is your y intercept. Tomorrow you may have 3x plus 4y plus 5 is equal to 0. How do you convert it into intercept form? Same strategy. See what is happening to C. I am shifting that side. Then what am I doing? Whatever I get here, I am going to divide that by entire equation. Alright. So that is conversion of general form into intercept form. Now we will see conversion of general form. GF stands for general form, not girlfriend. Conversion of general form to slope intercept form. Conversion of general form to slope intercept form. Now what is that conversion of GF to slope intercept form? I will say ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Now what? By is equal to minus ax plus c. Now what? By is equal to minus a common, x minus c by a. If I take minus a common, this minus minus plus a cancel. Y is equal to minus a by b into x minus c by a. So it is of the form y is equal to m into x minus a. So this is called what? Slope intercept form, where what is m is equal to minus a by b. It is called slope. And what is this? A is equal to x intercept is your c by a. X intercept is your c by a. Similarly, if I from here write y is equal to minus a by b, y is equal to minus a by b into x plus c by b, then what is minus a by b? It is called as slope intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus c. This is also slope intercept form. Y is equal to m into x minus c is also slope intercept form. But here m is the slope and a is a x intercept. Here m is the slope and c is y intercept. Don't get confused this c with that c. Let me put this as bold or capital C. So here what is minus a by b? That is called as slope. And what is c by b? C by b is called as y intercept. So converting into slope intercept form is like this. First you write by is equal to minus of ax plus c, depending on what type of intercept you want. If you want y intercept, then simply divide by b on both sides, you get the slope intercept form. So it is very clear. And the next is how to convert this general form of line into perpendicular form or normal form. Alright, so I'll just wipe this. I'm sure you've copied this part. I'll wipe it off. And then we'll go for conversion into normal form of line. Very, very important. In examination, they will give you a question, convert this line into normal form. So I'll say conversion of general form to normal form. Now what do? You will say you will consider ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Alright. Then what do you write? You write ax plus by is equal to minus c. Don't get confused. In intercept form also this step is same. But now instead of dividing with c, I will say divide both sides by under root of a square plus b square. You will divide both sides by under root of a square plus b square. So it is ax by under root of a square plus b square plus by by under root of a square plus b square is equal to minus c by under root of a square plus b square. See, you have to make this positive. In order to make this positive, what will I do? I will multiply by minus sign. If this is already positive, there is no headache. If this is negative, I will multiply by minus sign. So what will I write? Minus a by under root of a square plus b square times x minus b by under root of a square plus b square times y is equal to c by under root of a square plus b square. Remember, this should be always positive, right? So this is x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to p. I will say this is the normal form. This is the normal form of line where cos alpha is minus a by under root of a square plus b square. Sin alpha is minus b by under root of a square plus b square, and perpendicular distance p from origin is c by under root of a square plus b square. Very, very important, children, how to convert a normal form of line into a general form of line into a normal form of line. This is a normal form of line. In the examination also, you write till here and then you mention what is cos alpha, what is sin alpha and what is p. And of course you all know what is this, right? This is the line and this is p and this is alpha and this is x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to p, called as normal form of line. So I am sure you are able to follow. I want you to pause this video and then we'll go to the next concept of this particular session. So I am sure you have understood the various forms of line and you have understood how to convert from one form into another form. Now we will move forward and try to understand how to find the slope of a line. Slope of the line ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 is slope is equal to negative coefficient of x by coefficient of y. So what is the negative quotient of x? Minus a by what is quotient of y? b. So slope is equal to minus a by b. That's how you will find the slope of any given line straight away. Looking at the line, you should be able to write the slope. Negative quotient of x by quotient of y. Don't by heart minus a by b. Just say negative quotient of x by coefficient of y if the given equation is in the general form of line. Now let me tell you what are the conditions if two lines are parallel, right? If two lines are parallel, if two lines are parallel, then their slopes are equal. Then their slopes are equal. That is, M1 is equal to M2, where M1 is the slope of first line and M2 is the slope of second line. Now, if two lines are perpendicular, if two lines are perpendicular, then product of their slopes, is equal to -1. It means if M1 is the slope of first line and M2 is the slope of second line, and if you multiply M1 into M2 will be equal to what? -1. So these are the two very important conditions if two lines are parallel or if two lines are perpendicular. Now let me tell you, if very important, if a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0 and a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0 are, first case I'll say are parallel, then condition is a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2. Whenever these two lines are said to be parallel, then you can utilize this formula, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2. Now if they are perpendicular, if these above lines are perpendicular, then a1 a2 plus b1 b2 is equal to -1. a1 a2 plus b1 b2 is equal to 0, not -1. a1 a2 plus b1 b2 is equal to 0. Alright, and if these two lines are coincident, then you have a condition a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Now this is a condition you will apply if two lines are coincident. What do you mean by coincident? Lying one upon another, right? Means both of them are same. So this conditions you have to remember. This is a condition if the two lines are parallel, this is a condition if two lines are perpendicular, and this is a condition if two lines are coincident. So these are very important conditions, my dear children. Now we will try to end our session here, and in the next session we are going to do the furthermore topics like what will be the line parallel to another line. If the line is given to you, then how do you write the equation of line parallel to it, or how do you write the equation of line perpendicular to it? Then how to find the angle between two lines, whether it is a cos theta formula or whether it is a tan theta formula. All those various things we will try to cover in the next session. So that's all for now. Keep practicing, do a lot of practice, and then try to maintain the notes. Thank you, take care, and bye bye.